What's up, Wargamers? We've got more news for you. Just as we had figured, on Sunday, Games Workshop released some more information about the upcoming 8th edition Imperial Knights, including new units that we want to take a look at today, so stay tuned. We are climbing our ranks all the way to 1,000 subscribers, so thanks to all the new guys who have recently joined. Thanks to Redbeard Boss for the plug. It's been a good mutual growth here. I hope to help your channel grow as well, so make sure you check out Redbeard Boss for some other low down dirty Warhammer and Warhammer 40,000 news. So let's go ahead and dive in and take a look at the Warhammer community website, where we've got some leaks and sneak peeks of the 8th edition Codex and some of the new units. So we all love models, right? We don't necessarily all buy the books, but as you probably know, the models are the value of the game throughout all the editions. So we've got a re-release of an old set with an update and some new, completely new models here. So let's take a look and we dive into the new Imperial Knights, and what we've got are two new larger variants of the Imperial Knights. So we'll take a look, and although at first glance these guys may look to be somewhat similar with different weapon choices, their upper torsos appear to be 100% completely different, and it's hard to say whether the lower part, whether the legs and the waist, is the same, but I'd venture that this is a totally new kit, and it brings in totally new weapons, which I'm not fully sure on the names, because this looks like it's some sort of missile launcher, but at the same time, this is probably like a harpoon of some sort to like hit a piece of like a tank or something and draw it to you. I'm kind of guessing that based upon the chains and the winch that's behind it. And then we've got multi-meltas here, where we had before the heavy stubbas. We have some hunter-killer missiles, presumably. Those could have different stats. Some type of autocannon or battle cannon mounted up above, and this looks like a triple heavy flamer, some mega flamer of some sort. So this is a wicked loadout of one of the new knights here coming out. And then, so we've got Dominus class knights, and these are the new Lord of War. So I think some people are going to be taking these as an attachment to their existing Imperial force, but these definitely give a heavy hitting, lots of DACA, as the orcs would say, coming out of a single model. So one of the issues before with Imperial Knights is that you had really low model count, and then on top of that you didn't have enough volume of fire, so you weren't throwing enough dice downfield. Although you were throwing very powerful dice downfield, you weren't really throwing out enough to take on horde armies and mass armies. No doubt this big butt flamer that's on this arm is going to be good for taking out hordes at close distances. Now let's take a look at another variant loadout. I don't know if this is the Knight Castellan or if this is just another Dominus class, so forgive me on that, but we've got a giant plasma light cannon there. We've got some sort of other energy-based weapon in the other hand, so I'm just saying I don't know the names of these weapons yet. Then there you have the turrets again, so it looks like optionally the shoulders could become missile turrets or these types of cannon turrets. And again, we're seeing multi-melta in the pectoral region, or whatever you'll call it, of these new knights. So this model kit is probably going to be more expensive than the Knight Warden kit, which I believe was about $165. So don't be surprised if this is in the $180 range. I don't have price confirmation yet on these new units, but they're definitely not going to be cheap, although you're not going to need very many of them to be competitive. And you figure that they're probably priced somewhere around the cost of 3 units of tactical marines in terms of dollar value. Time will tell whether points value is the equivalent, but these guys will definitely be providing lots of heavy hitting firepower, as well as bringing the volume of fire down to the battlefield. Now, we knew or suspected that there were going to be another variant coming of the Knight Armiger Warglaves. So these are the Knight Armiger Helverins. These are the long-range versions, so they don't have the chainsaw and the multi-melta weapon, but they still have the heavy stubba and the and the melta gun up on top on the dorsal mount. But now these guys are bringing with them what looks to be 2 autocannons apiece. So these are going to give you some long-range, 48-inch firepower. Good for taking out light vehicles, heavy infantry, even for putting some damage points onto some of the medium to heavy vehicles. So forgive me. And then also onto some big, like, monstrous creatures and stuff like that. So I don't know for certain, but I have a feeling that this variant is probably going to be the more popular of the loadouts, but only time will tell after you've played a few battles. You'll want to keep your models flexible by not permanently attaching those arms, so that way you could switch between the Armiger Warglaive and the Armiger Helverins as needed based on battlefield rules. Now, it appears that they're going to be coming 2 to a box, so I don't know if this is going to be like an $85 box or what the price is going to be. It could be a $100 box for all we know, but you're going to get 2 to a box. Presumably, you're going to get the ability to build the Armiger Warglaives as well as the Armiger Helverins within that box, and then it's 3 of these guys per Lord of War choice, so you guys will need to probably buy 2 boxes, and that's the catch, is that if you just want to shell out and have one box, you're only going to have 2/3 of what you could fit in 1 Lord of War choice. So they've got a gotcha here with Games Workshop by bundling these guys in pairs, and in both the Forgebane box and what appears to be their upcoming individual release box. So you're going to have to basically buy either 2 boxes or 3 boxes. 3 boxes getting you 2 Lord of War, which won't do you any good if you're playing most Imperial armies trying to bring on a Lord of War detachment. But if you are playing a dedicated Imperial Knight force, you're probably going to want to buy 3 of these boxes. That way you can field 2 full strength units of these smaller points choices within your force organization. So that would be presumably a smart thing to do depending on what you need. And these littler models with their lower points counts give you a little bit more force organization flexibility when building out an Imperial Knights force. So it says, like the Warmiger Arglaives, you get 3 of these guys per Lord of War slot, making them ideal for rounding out a larger detachment of Imperial Knights. Nothing's to say that you couldn't just take 1 of these guys if you had a little bit of points remaining to fill in that spot as well. So time will tell here once we get our hands on the Codex Imperial Knights in terms of how we're going to be able to best suit these out. But here's one of the cool things that they're adding that's going to provide some character, literally characters, and some character and thematic themes to your forces, where you're going to be able to build out the abilities of different households within the different Imperial Knights. And then you're also going to be able to build backstories and sort of customize your models with what they're calling household traditions. So these are going to kind of be like chapter characteristics with Space Marines, where each chapter gets its own special ability. Your household's going to have some special rules, or you can build free blades, which are mercenaries and things like that. So then there's going to be a special edition codex for these guys, presumably at about $100 like it has been. And then some other collector's essentials such as your data cards, which come with tokens and things like that, which will be helpful for, and data sheets. You've got special edition dice for the Imperial Knights. There's the data cards. So these here were your data sheets, so you could help keep track of what each knight has in terms of their abilities and things like that. They're getting their own range rule for combat, so this is pretty neat if you guys are into collecting these sorts of things, so that'll be interesting. And then here's the re-release. So this was a box set. I think about 2 years ago this came out as a limited edition box, but it had different terrain inside of it, and it looks like it has the same models at that time, but the rules are going to be updated. And this is a standalone game that the models, of course, are compatible in Warhammer 40,000. And when this had come out before, it was just a little bit more expensive than the cost of purchasing 1 Imperial Knight. So it was really a great value, and especially now that it's not coming with the old in Sector Imperialis terrain, it's coming with the Galvanic Magnavent. It fits the theme of the Imperial Knights a little bit better, and will go along with another upcoming piece of terrain, which we've seen that appeared to be like a charging station or outfitting station for your Knights. So what you're going to get here, it looks like it's going to come with the Knight Errant kit, as well as one of the Knight Warden kits. And you're going to be able to use that 1 Knight Warden upgrade kit to flexibly outfit 2 of these Imperial Knights. You could build 2 Knight Wardens, but they just would have 2 different weapon sets. I don't think you're going to get 2 of the upgrade sprues for the Knight Warden, so just keep a lookout for that. So you're basically going to have the ability to put the battle cannon and the chain sword that was on the original Imperial Knight, was it the Imperial Knight Gallant, forget Errant, the Errant Knight, and then you've got the fist from the Warden, as well as the missile launcher, the twin heavy autocannon, and then the Gatling gun. I forget the name of that one. So that's what's coming out here in this set. And then stay tuned, there's going to be this new piece of terrain called the Sacristan Forge Shrine. There was a preview to that previously on Fayette 2012, if you guys want to check that out. I had seen that where it was basically that charging station that I had previously talked about. So that's what's coming out here for pre-order soon. There may even be some more sneak peeks for Imperial Knights. I wouldn't be surprised if there's more to this 8th edition release and what we've seen so far to date, but that's going to be the majority of the previews of what's coming out there. So hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell next to subscription for notifications. That way you can get notified when I release new videos, and I appreciate you guys tuning into the channel.